Anna stood quietly near the edge of the old scrapyard and looked at the train car resting alone on broken gravel and dry weeds. The metal body was covered in rust and faded paint, and the windows were cloudy from years of dust and rain. Many people had passed this place without slowing down because to them it was only old metal waiting to be crushed. Anna felt something different, as if the train car was still breathing in silence and waiting for someone to listen. She placed her hand on the cold steel and felt a strange calm move through her chest. The train car was built in the 1930s and once carried families, workers and soldiers across long distances. It had seen laughter, quiet talks, tired sleeps and hopeful dreams during hard times. Now it sat forgotten with broken steps and loose panels and a door that barely moved. Anna imagined the sound of wheels on tracks and the soft light of lamps glowing inside. She could almost hear voices that once filled the space with warmth. That feeling stayed with her and refused to leave. Anna did not grow up with much money or comfort. She lived in a small rented room and worked long hours at a local library where she repaired old books and organized forgotten records. She liked quiet places and stories that held meaning. Her father once worked on trains when she was a child, and he used to tell her stories about travel and hope. After he passed away, those memories stayed with her like a soft echo. Standing in front of the train car made those memories feel alive again. The scrapyard owner was surprised when Anna asked about the train car. He laughed gently and said no one had asked about it in years. He told her it was too old to restore and too heavy to move easily. When Anna asked the price, he shrugged and said $500 would take it away. Anna felt her breath stop because that was almost everything she had saved. She did not answer right away and walked around the train car once more. She noticed the curved ceiling, the worn wooden floor, and the long narrow shape that felt almost protective. She imagined cleaning the rust, sanding the walls, and opening the windows again. She did not know exactly what she would create inside, but she knew it would matter. Anna thought about her father and the quiet strength he carried, and how he always believed broken things still had value. With a steady voice, she agreed to buy the train car. The days that followed were filled with doubt and hard work. Friends told Anna she was making a mistake and that the money could have been used for something safer. Anna listened politely but did not argue. She believed some choices were not meant to be explained. She arranged for the train car to be moved to a small piece of land near a quiet field outside town. When it arrived, it looked even more tired than before, but it was hers. Anna began cleaning the inside slowly and patiently. She removed layers of dust and old nails and broken boards. Every small step took effort and time. Her hands were often sore and her clothes covered in rust and dirt. Still, she returned every morning before work and every evening after sunset. As the space cleared, she discovered old carvings on the walls and numbers written near the seats. Each mark felt like a whisper from the past. As weeks passed, the train car began to change. Fresh air moved through open windows and light touched the walls again. Anna repaired the wooden floor and sealed gaps in the metal. She found old photographs in local archives showing similar train cars filled with people during difficult years. Those images guided her work and shaped her vision. She did not rush because she wanted to honor what the train car once was. At night, Anna sat inside the train car with a small lamp and a notebook. She wrote down ideas, feelings, and memories that came to her. She was not planning to make something fancy or modern. She wanted to create a place that felt safe and honest. A place where people could sit quietly and feel understood. She did not yet know how others would react, but she trusted her heart. As the structure grew stronger, something else grew inside Anna. She felt connected to people she had never met and times she never lived through. The train car was no longer just metal and wood. It became a bridge between past and present and between loss and hope. Anna smiled softly one evening as she closed the door behind her. She knew this was only the beginning and that what she was creating would touch more than just her own life. The next months tested Anna in ways she did not expect. The excitement she felt at the beginning slowly mixed with tired mornings and quiet doubts. Every repair took longer than planned, and every mistake felt heavy on her shoulders. She learned how to fix metal seams and how to treat old wood so it would not break again. Some days she worked in silence with only the sound of wind moving through the open field. Other days she played soft music and imagined the train car listening with her. Money became a careful concern for Anna. After buying basic tools and materials, she had almost nothing left. She searched local markets for reused wood and old furniture that people no longer wanted. She accepted help when it was offered and thanked everyone with sincere words. A retired man from town showed her how to strengthen weak corners. A woman from the market gave her old curtains that still carried warmth. Each small act felt like a gift placed gently in her hands. As the inside took shape, Anna focused on keeping the soul of the train car alive. She kept the long narrow layout and restored the seats instead of removing them. She cleaned each one and fixed the worn edges carefully. She imagined travelers once sitting there holding bags and letters and hope. She placed soft cushions and warm blankets to invite people to stay longer. The walls were painted in calm colors that reflected light without hiding age. Anna decided the train car would not be a private space only for her. She wanted it to be open to anyone who needed a quiet place to feel safe. She created a small reading corner with shelves filled with donated books. She placed a simple table near the window where people could write or draw. She added small lamps that gave a gentle glow in the evenings. Every choice was made with care and intention. One afternoon, Anna invited her neighbor Mira to see the progress. Mira had watched the project from a distance and never asked questions. When she stepped inside, she paused and looked around slowly. Her eyes softened, and she sat down without speaking. After a long moment, she said the space felt calm and honest. That reaction stayed with Anna and gave her strength. She realized the train car was already doing what she hoped it would do. News about the train car began to spread quietly through town. People were curious but respectful. Some came just to look, while others offered stories about family members who once traveled by train. An older woman spoke about meeting her husband on a long ride many years ago. A young man shared how he felt lost and found peace sitting inside for a few minutes. Anna listened to every story and held them with care. The train car slowly became a place where time moved differently. People spoke softly and stayed longer than they planned. Some read in silence while others shared memories they had never spoken aloud. Anna never pushed anyone to talk and never asked for anything in return. She simply kept the door open and the space warm. The train car seemed to absorb emotions and return calm in exchange. Late one evening, Anna found an old metal plaque hidden behind a loose panel. It carried faded words and a date from the 1930s. She cleaned it gently and placed it near the entrance. It reminded her that this place had carried meaning long before she arrived. That discovery made her feel less alone in her work. She felt guided by hands she could not see. As winter approached, Anna prepared the train car to face the cold. She insulated the walls and checked every window. She added a small heater and tested it carefully. When snow finally arrived, the train car stood quietly in white silence. Light from inside glowed softly through the windows. People still came even in the cold and found comfort there. One evening, Anna sat alone inside after everyone had left. She looked around at what she had created and felt a deep mix of gratitude and humility. She knew the work was not finished yet. Something inside her told her the true purpose of the train car was still waiting to be revealed. She closed her eyes and listened to the quiet hum of the space. Outside, the wind moved gently, and inside, the train car held its breath, ready for what was coming next. As the months passed, the train car began to feel like a living part of the town and not just a project anymore. People spoke about it in gentle voices, as if it were a place that deserved respect. Anna noticed how visitors changed after spending time inside. They walked in with heavy shoulders and left with calmer faces. Some smiled softly while others wiped their eyes before stepping back into the world. Anna never asked why, because she believed some feelings needed no explanation. One quiet morning, a schoolteacher named Rosa arrived with a small group of children. She explained that they were learning about history and wanted them to feel it instead of just reading about it. The children stepped inside slowly and looked around with wide eyes. They touched the seats and windows and asked simple questions. Anna watched as curiosity turned into quiet understanding. Rosa later thanked Anna and said the children would remember that day for a long time. Another day, a man named Paul came alone and sat near the window for hours. He did not read or write or speak. He simply looked outside and breathed slowly. When he finally stood up, he told Anna the space reminded him of someone he lost many years ago. His voice was calm and steady, but his eyes held deep emotion. He said the train car helped him feel close to that memory without pain. Anna nodded and felt honored by his trust. The train car also brought unexpected challenges. Some people questioned why Anna gave so much without asking for payment. Others worried the space would change or lose meaning if too many people came. Anna listened carefully to every concern. She made small adjustments and set gentle boundaries. She trusted that the heart of the place would guide her choices. One afternoon, Anna received a letter from a local council member. The letter praised her work and invited her to speak at a small gathering about the project. Anna felt nervous but agreed. She stood in front of a small audience and spoke honestly. She shared how the train car reminded her of her father and of quiet strength during hard times. She said she believed forgotten things still carried purpose. Her words were simple but sincere, and they reached the listeners deeply. After that gathering, more people began visiting the train car. Some brought small gifts like candles, books, or handmade cloths. Others brought stories that had been held inside for years. Anna accepted everything with gratitude and care. She made sure the space never felt crowded or rushed. She reminded herself often that silence was just as important as sound. One evening, an elderly woman named Nora arrived just before sunset. She moved slowly and held a small box close to her chest. She asked if she could sit alone for a while. Anna agreed and waited outside. After some time, Nora called her inside. She opened the box and showed old letters written during the 1930s. They were written by her parents during long train journeys. Nora said she had carried those letters her whole life, but never found the right place to read them again. Tears filled her eyes as she spoke. Nora sat and read each letter slowly while Anna stayed nearby in quiet support. The train car felt still and full at the same time. When Nora finished, she smiled gently and said the space felt like home to those words again. She hugged Anna with surprising strength and thanked her for giving memories a place to rest. That moment stayed with Anna deeply. As word spread beyond the town, visitors came from nearby areas. Some drove long distances just to sit quietly for a few minutes. Anna began to feel the weight of responsibility. She wanted to protect the space from becoming something rushed or shallow. She trusted her instincts and kept the focus on calm presence. One night, Anna sat alone and reflected on everything that had happened. She realized the train car was no longer just about restoration or history. It had become a place where people allowed themselves to feel honestly. That realization brought both joy and fear. She wondered if she was ready for what might come next. The answer came sooner than she expected. A local newspaper published a small article about the train car and its quiet impact. The story spread quickly and brought attention Anna never planned for. Messages arrived from people who had never visited but felt connected to the idea. Anna felt overwhelmed and uncertain. She stood inside the train car late that night and placed her hand on the wall. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath. The space felt steady and strong. It reminded her why she started and who she was doing this for. She knew something important was approaching and that the train car would soon reveal its deepest purpose. Outside, the stars shone quietly, and inside, the old train car waited ready to hold whatever came next. The attention brought new energy and new pressure into Anna's life, and she felt both at the same time. Messages arrived from people sharing stories of loss, hope, and healing, and many said the train car reminded them of moments they thought were gone forever. Anna read every message slowly and answered with care. She understood now that the space had grown beyond her plans and become something shared. That understanding made her humble and careful. One morning, Anna received a visit from a group of older train workers who once traveled and worked during their younger days. They stepped inside with respect and silence. One man touched the wall and smiled as if greeting an old friend. Another sat down and closed his eyes for a long moment. They spoke about journeys made during hard years and how trains once carried not just people but courage. Anna listened quietly and felt tears rise, but she held them gently. The group asked if they could do something small together inside the train car. Anna agreed without asking details. They stood in a circle and shared a few quiet words about strength and memory. The moment was simple but powerful. When they left, they thanked Anna and said she had given dignity back to something forgotten. That day, Anna understood the full weight of what she had created. Soon after that visit, the town organized a small gathering near the train car. It was not loud or crowded but warm and thoughtful. People came with families and friends, and some came alone. They took turns stepping inside and sitting quietly. Some held hands and others held memories. Anna did not stand in front or speak much. She stayed nearby ready to help, but allowed the space to speak for itself. During the gathering, a young woman named Lena stepped forward and asked to share something. She said she had lost her mother years ago and never found a place that felt safe enough to remember her fully. She said sitting inside the train car helped her feel close again without pain. Her voice was steady but emotional. Many listeners felt the same connection. The silence that followed was full and meaningful. As evening arrived, soft lights glowed from inside the train car and the air felt gentle. People lingered longer than planned. Some left notes behind while others simply touched the door before leaving. Anna collected the notes later and placed them in a small box inside. They were filled with gratitude and honesty. She realized the train car had become a keeper of shared hearts. Late that night, Anna sat alone once more inside the space that had changed so many lives. She thought about her father and how he once spoke about journeys that mattered more than destinations. She felt certain he would have understood this place. She whispered quiet thanks and felt peace settle inside her. In the following weeks, Anna made one final addition to the train car. Near the entrance, she placed a simple wooden sign that read a few gentle words about remembering and feeling without fear. She did not sign her name because she believed the space belonged to everyone now. Visitors understood the message and treated the place with care. The train car continued to stand quietly through seasons of sun, rain, and snow. People came and went, and each left something unseen behind. Anna remained its caretaker and guardian. She never grew tired of opening the door or welcoming silence. She learned that healing did not always need words. One day a child asked Anna why people cried inside the train car. Anna smiled softly and said sometimes tears mean something good is happening inside. The child nodded as if that answer was enough. Anna watched the child sit quietly and felt hope move gently forward. Years later, people would still talk about the old train car and the woman who saw value where others saw rust. They would say it was not just a place but a feeling that stayed with them long after they left. Anna never sought praise and never claimed credit. She simply listened when something asked to be saved. The rusty train car from the 1930s stood strong and alive once again, not because of money or design, but because one person chose care over comfort. What Anna created inside was not something that could be measured or sold. It was a space where hearts could rest and memories could breathe. And that was why everyone who entered felt moved in ways they never expected.